Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom to the nation of Israel, Yahweh Shai's elect. And first and foremost, before I get into my quick lesson, I want to start off giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Secondly, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well today. And salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in all truth and sincerity. Shalom. So I'm back once again, touching on to a quick article. And as you can see, with this whole situation with Ukraine and Russia, now you're seeing America more and more getting into involved, over this whole crisis of Russia invading Ukraine. But now, we're seeing it as a economic attack. Okay, now recently you have Biden making a statement yesterday about banning all the oil, doing business with Russia. And basically, this is a quick article going into how there's really a self-inflicted wound on America. Okay, not dealing with Russia oil. Okay, and cutting it off from being or import over here. Okay, we already know this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine. It's an economic war, trade wars, as they putting sanctions, America on Russia. Okay, and that's going to be a domino effect that's going to hit globally. Okay, especially here in America. Okay, so I'm just going to get into this quick article where read a couple of the statements of the article, because it's a pretty long article, and I'm just tied it into the scriptures and pray that the lesson be edifying. Okay, so this the time that we in, and we've been out there warning you, start with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. Okay, telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, and that we're approaching the time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, and the biblical Edomites, which is the so-called white race today, they moving forward with their agenda. And we already know they want to bring a cashless society. Okay, get rid of the dollar and enforce the MOTB, the micro, that which going to be the next currency according to biblical prophecy in the times that we're coming into. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And they're doing everything to trigger selective. They're doing everything, and they attack this strategy, selective, if I can't hardly pronounce that word, and they moving forward to breaking down the supply chain, the food shortages. You're seeing gas prices going up. Everything gets a economic hit. Okay, and they want to cause, as one of their slogans when it comes to the NWO, order out of chaos. Okay, and we already know when it comes to these elites, this whole situation with Russia and Ukraine and America and worldwide, globally, that all this ties into them into gaining more success financially. But meantime, the people in the world is going to suffer, man, especially here in America. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of this article. And this article is off of the New York Times.com. And it says, ban on Russia oil could hit the U.S. economy as gas prices rise. Okay, March the 8th, 2022. And it says, the ban on Russian oil imports announced by President Biden on Tuesday could have meaningful consequences for the U.S. economy, pushing prices at the gas pump higher when inflation is already ramp. Although how long-lasting that impact might be remains is uncertainty. So you already have the situation in America where the economy is imploding itself, man. Okay, the food shortages, not to mention, don't forget to mention that the supply chain that then came to a halt. Okay, unemployment at an all-time high, job losses, evictions. Okay, benefits being cut, and that was already due to this whole scamdemic. Okay, that was happening for the past 3 years, and all of a sudden that's in the back. That's taking the back seat. Everything's all right, and now the American government want to focus on the situation over there in Russia and Ukraine. And soon, a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, when Russia invaded Ukraine, finally, invade Ukraine, they say that the prices over here in the United States was gonna take a toll, the financial system of America. Okay? And now you're seeing the effect of the gas prices going up before Biden made the announcement of cutting off Russia oil supply from over here. Okay? Which means, as they're going into this article, that you're gonna have more inflation on the gas pumps. Okay? Not only here in America, but all of America allies that do trades with them. Okay? Russia allies that do trades. Okay? And it says, we're banning all imports of Russian oil and gas and energy, Mr. Biden said. Speaking at the White House briefing, he said the plan will target the main artery of the Russian economy. While he acknowledged that the move will likely push gas prices up, he blamed Russia's aggressiveness for that reality. Yeah, now it's the blame on Russia, man. Okay, and you cutting off Russia's supplies of their oil, that's giving them oil unto themselves, man. More oil for themselves they can display amongst other countries that's dealing with them when it comes to trades, when it comes to finances. Okay, that's only going to, like I say, self-inflict the wound of America. Okay, but our people trust and uphold and claim they voted for Joe Biden. He's better. Trump was a mess. Trump was a disaster. But look at Joe Biden. With Joe Biden is a globalist, all he's doing really is doing the bidding of the elites, the ones that's over him, man. Okay, his handlers. Okay? And now this move over the gas prices or over this oil is going to cause a big situation here in America. In the meantime, you already have gas prices and other products and merchandise going up, man. Okay? While the dollar is on a rapid decline, being devalued, man. Okay? So we already know, man, these elites is going to start putting the squeeze more and more on the global economy, especially their main stronghold, America, which is going to take a major effect. Because all these countries, they deal with America. They got rich off of America. Okay, America is a import country. Okay, all the wealth that America has, okay, besides off the capitalization off the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, us, the Israelites, the hard labor from the time of captivity until this time now, America is known for its wealth by doing business with these other countries, such as Russia, China, the EU, and all these other countries as well, man. Okay? So now you bringing harm to yourself and leaving all these other countries out that you done trades with. How you think that's going to play out? Okay, America's at the point of $30 trillion in debt and counting. So it's looking that they're at the point now that these elites ready to move forward with their next phase of causing a financial crash. Okay, a global reset, as they always make mention, the BBB. Okay, build back better. Okay, let me continue on. And the blame is on Russia now. All of a sudden, Russia is the reason why the world's so jacked up. Okay, when you look into the over here in the westernized media, the propaganda they pushing. Here, America causing all these problems. Okay, they throw the rock and hide their hand. And now all the attention's on Russia being the big terrorism of the earth, the problem of the earth. But in the meantime, you got the Americans over here talking about some of the Russians over there, how they treating the Ukrainians. That's wrong. Okay, something got to be done about Vladimir Putin. But look at the history of America, what it done cost to you average American citizens, the unjust that's done here, especially to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But you got the nerves of talking about taking a stand and going against Russia and supporting Ukraine. But all these years, America show its true hatreds when they come to the government, how it feel about your American citizens, especially the poor. Okay? The unjust system. In all these other countries, they see that, man. They see how unfair America is. They see how America treats its people. Okay? And they also see how America more and more trying to go into these other countries and push their agenda, push their policies, push their diplomacy, democracy, and coming in the name of peace. But really, they want to come in the spirit of war. And that's the time that we in, the time of the spirit of war coming here upon the earth. That's why you're seeing Yahweh Shem Yahushai raising up Russia. Because Russia is going to be the main indicator into this third world war, which is biblical prophecy, that's going to take the charge to come against America, Babylon the Great. So it's going to be a third world war. And we at the beginning of that. Okay? And we know more prophecies have to come to be fulfilled, such as the MOTB. Okay, other countries getting involved with this third world war. Okay, countries taking side with Russia, countries taking side with America. Okay, such as the Israelis, the state of Israel, bumping heads against the Iranians, the conflict between them. Okay, and China more and more getting wrapped up. Okay, the EU so divided. Okay, well, they're gonna have to make a decision to when it comes to their warfare. Okay, and it says Europe imports far more of its supply from Russia than the United States, but energy markets are global, and the mere threat of a ban has pushed commodity prices higher in recent days. Okay, so look there, the EU. Okay, the European nations. Okay, most of their gas, their crude oil, their energy is being supported by Russia. And once again, EU and America, they're allies, part of NATO. But here you got America breaking in the friction between EU. Okay, putting sanctions on them, putting sanctions on their trade partners. Okay, example, the EU and Russia. Okay? So when they do this banning of the Russian oil, that's going to affect the EU as well, man. 'Cause once again, they get majority of their gas or their crude oil from Russia, doing trades with them. And now, the price is going to go up higher. Let me see. Now, read a little bit more and get into the scriptures. It says, things have been violated, said Omar Shefri, founding of Inflation Insights. Nothing that it was difficult to tell how much of the rise in oil prices in recent days trace back to this specific ban. But the conflict in Ukraine is clearly pushing commodity gas prices higher, so much so that the national average gas price could rise to nearly $4.50 this month, he said, assuming we don't move anymore. Okay, so you have that now here in America. Certain gas stations there, gas prices are $4.50. Some of them are even higher. Okay, brothers done post pictures or clips of different gas stations that got different prices, man. Like I say, some up to $4.50, as they stated here in this article. Okay, even higher up to damn near $8 a price. Okay, so they saying expect more prices, the price of the gas to even go higher. And in the meantime, food prices are going higher. The grocery stores, the marketplaces, the restaurants. Okay, and it says, while the oil and gas ban is almost sure to push inflation higher in the United States, economists have said that the scale of the economic consequences will depend in large part on how it was structured. For instance, it will likely make a big difference globally in the markets if the Europeans also ban Russian oil and gas imports. It is not yet clear whether or to what extent that will happen. And if they go to do that, man, that's really going to be a major blow to the EU and American economy. Here you already got America, Biden make the statement of banning Russia oil. But now here you got the EU might be in the talks of banning the oil as well. And as I made mention, man, the EU get most of their gas or energy from Russia. Okay, some of those European colonies. Okay, such as I believe like what Germany, France. Okay, because you got the EU right there on the border of Russia. Okay, and Ukraine in between. And the whole talk of this whole situation with Ukraine and Russia, because for the past months, but even going back into 2014, I believe that when Biden been in the chair, Obama been in the chair, you had the situation with Ukraine and Russia, taking place then. Now it's done come to the forefront in this time, playing out. Okay, and the whole situation is the control of opposition, the control of power. You got NATO want Ukraine to join them, okay, so they can have a better stronghold into trying to go against Russia, okay. But now Russia taking a stand of taking over Ukraine because the Ukraine belongs to Russia anyway. Another thing that majority of simple Americans don't know, okay, that Russia is taking Ukraine because it belonged to them. And America and the EU trying to cause friction by taking Ukraine, trying to take Ukraine from Russia so they can have more of a foothold to come against Russia. Okay? And that's the MO of NATO and in America, United States, always been like that, man. How they always go into these other countries and destroy their their government take out their leaders and, bring their policies, man. And these nations are getting tired of America and EU. And it says, a ban across many countries will severely reduce and disrupt energy supply on a global scale, and already high commodity prices will rise. Caroline Bryan, an economist at Capital Economics, wrote in a research note ahead of the announcement, a statement that the price of the global oil benchmark, Brent crude, will settle in at about $160 per barrel in that case. Okay, so I'm probably in the article there. It's pretty long, but I'm gonna go ahead and get into some scriptures. But the whole point is, the big news now lately, this whole Russia and Ukraine situation, and America constantly being involved. Now the latest that they want to ban the Russian oil supplies, okay, from America, okay. And you can see throughout the article, it says that expect prices to go even higher now when it comes to the gas, okay, due to this whole critical move that Biden announced and made. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into the scriptures and basically touch into the scriptures how Esau, Edom operate, okay, when it comes to these elites down to their counterpart or their stronghold, mainly America, okay, Babylon the Great. Because we always go into that NATO, which is representing the beast in the scriptures, or mainly Revelation chapter 17 talks about it. NATO represent the beast, or the EU represent the beast, and America represent the whore that rideth the beast, okay? And America has its influence upon the whole world, man, okay, due to their wealth, due to their trends, and mainly due to their military. But now you're seeing America is going on a decline. They're falling. Okay, this place is falling, man. While these other nations are preparing for war. Okay, their economy is in a bad situation as well. But they just is about on the same even playing field as America. And they got almost more of advance when it comes to the technology and their military. Okay, examples such as Russia, China, okay, Iran. Then you got Russia aiding a lot of these other countries, supporting them when it comes to military fund, okay? And you got all these other countries ready to leave off from the dollar, forming their own financial system, okay? And Russia being the head, right along with China. But we understand that Esau, Edom, when it comes to the American Edomites, through their pride, they still gonna cause havoc on these other countries. And sooner or later, it's gonna go to the point of war, a physical war. But now it's an economic war. It's a trade war, a banker's war, proxy war, starting to be set up, okay? And it's starting with all these different executive orders, okay, that America is putting on these countries, man, as they see them as enemies, okay? These sanctions, which is an act of war itself. But let me get into the scriptures. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievous, which they have prescribed. Okay, and that's Esau, Edom. In particular, America. Okay, all these executive orders, all these decrees that they put into law, okay, when it comes to them coming against these other countries, man. Okay? Hey, even the laws they put even upon their own citizens. Okay, they go into the time of draconian measures, man. Severe laws. And it's grievous. Okay, that executive order and that ban that Biden stated against Russia oil and against Vladimir Putin. Okay, that's going to be grievous unto the American economy. Okay, to the own American citizens when it comes to these prices rising, man. In particular, the gas prices over the oil ban of Russia. So that's going to be grievous, man. And it says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievous which they have prescribed. Okay? And that word woe means destruction. Because eventually that's what's going to happen. And that's going to take place here in America, destruction. We're coming into the time of great trials and tribulations, civil unrest, division, uproars of the people. And once America go through that, how you think the rest of the world going to go? Once again, it's going to be like a domino effect, man. Okay, you seeing uproars of these people all throughout different parts of the region of the earth outside of America. Look at Canada. They basically on the martial law. Okay? Certain places in Europe, China, uproars of the people. Okay, which are the signs that Yahweh Shai, who the world called Christ, told his believers to look for, which goes into the Lord sign of his second coming. Then we in the time of the Lord return. So let me get this. Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Yeah, through his policy. Okay, mainly through the American Edomites. Okay, what they're pushing, what they're putting into the law and pushing on all these other countries, causing a major effect financially. Okay? America's the problem, man. Okay? And part of their policy is to cause chaos and try to establish order through the NWO. Okay? With these elites, man. And it says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Okay? They witchcraft. Okay? The democracy. Okay? The media. The media, how they, you know, causing uproars, the lies that they push, the propaganda that they setting up. Okay, all it goes back into witchcraft through the spiritual demon Satan on the left-hand side, man. That's where they get their power from. That's their power source, Satan. And look what the cause of it, man. Nothing but wickedness, confusion, destruction. And it says, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And that's the MO of Esau Edom. Okay, look at this world, man. Look at the state of the earth. And man and mankind in it. Okay, the nations. Okay, anybody should know it's the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, us the Israelites. Okay? And these devils, they're at war with each other. And that's scriptural, the Lord bringing that division amongst these Edomites. But they ready to war with each other and these other heathen nations. Okay, how much more against us, which we are their primary number one enemy? Believe it or not, for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans thinking that the so-called white man is good, that he's beneficial for us. Okay? Because even though all these things are happening between these superpower governments, they best believe, man, these elites in this American system still have that stronghold upon us, man. They think we defeated, man. Okay, but now this word is being pushed, and they seeing the nation of Israel raising up back into their heritage, coming back into their true power, serving Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Now they're trying to make moves. They're trying to move quickly, establishing this NWO. Okay, and all this is the will of the Heavenly Father and the Son. Okay, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Okay, matter of fact, I'm going to get that real quick. Let me finish this off. And it says, and he shall magnify himself in his heart. That's the pride of Esau Edom. Okay, and by peace shall destroy many. And you have seen the witness of that. Okay, and much more to come. A lot of death and destruction is about to take place here upon the earth. Yahweh Shem Yahushai stated in the scriptures, okay, the time of trouble like no other, man. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. Okay, and it says, and he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And so that's even going into the point when Yahushua return, who the world calls Christ, and he's going to come back with the host of angels, okay, in the chariots, what the world call UFOs, and he's going to fight during the time of this Third World War. He's going to intervene, okay, while all these nations going to be fighting at the peak of World War III. Yahushua is going to return and fight against all these nations' military, okay, starting with Esau Edom, okay, and you can read about that in Revelation chapter 12, which I'm about to go to, okay, and 2nd Ezra chapter 13, okay, Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. So that's it on that. So let me get on quick precept, because I make mention how Esau is making moves, but that's on the left-hand side through the spiritual demon Satan, which Satan get his orders from Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So Esau Edom is in a trick bag. But due to the Lord raising up the nation of Israel and his word being manifest, okay, Esau Edom, the elites, starting to move forward or trying to capitalize the NWO. So that's why you're seeing things going haywire here in the earth, man. Once again, order out of chaos. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. And it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Once again, woe means destruction. And that's what time we're coming into, great trials and tribulations. For the devil is come down unto you. Okay, and the devil goes into a man, which is Esau Edom, the deceiver, the false accuser. Okay, that's these Edomites. Okay, the wicked, the counterpart of Satan. Okay, the physical counterpart of Satan here on the earth, man. For the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, and we're seeing it through his agendas that they're pushing. Okay, he's coming down with that great wrath. And once again, Yahweh Shem Yahushai set Esau Edom up. Because Esau Edom is also known as the sword of the Lord. Okay? And the sword represents death, destruction. And that's the blessing that Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave Esau Edom. Okay? And it come in the form of his policies. His agenda of pushing the death by the military, biological warfare, unrighteous decrees, poverty. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to get another precept. And it says, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Yeah, he know he have but a short time, because he's seeing the prophecies and he's seeing this word flourishing. He's seeing the nation of Israel waking up. And he's seeing his beloved kingdom going down. He's losing grip on his power, man. Okay, he's seeing the sightings of the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots, the angels. Okay? And he's trying to upset prophecy. But everything that he's doing He's playing right into the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushua will. Okay? And that's why Job called them children of fools, children of base men. Because all throughout through they rulership, the Lord gave them over to that pride to think that they'll never be taken down, man. They got that God complex, okay? Trying to be the most high here on the earth. Okay, everything that they're pushing, they feel like they can do better than the most high when it comes to the Lord's creation. Well, everything they touch, they destroy, man. Because they are the wicked that the Bible speak of. And they're anti-life and pro-death. Let me get this. This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red. And that's going into what? Esau, Edom. Okay? Edom means red. Adawam in the Hebrew, red. And they're the only nation when it comes to all the creation of the Lord. They're the nation with the curse of leprosy. So therefore, they're majority of it, the main of the Edomites, they're red. Okay, their blood show forth through their skin. Okay? So that's what it's going into, that red horse. And that horse represents power. And their power structure is what they're ruling. Okay? Mainly these elites. And one of their power structures, America, the EU. Okay, the Russians over there, they're Edomites as well. Okay? To put it, round it up, to round it all up, Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, they are the ones that are ruling today. Starting and mainly with their elites. And it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Okay, so Yahweh Shem Yahushua set Esau, Edom up. And due to them ruling, they're taking peace from the earth. And that they shall kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. And that's what we're about to see now. Okay, Edomite on Edomite crime. The division amongst the Edomites, ready to go to war. Okay, with their superpower when it comes to their military. Okay? That's what I mean with that great sword. Once again, that's the blessing of the Edomites, the sword. And we're about to see them collide, man. So that's it on that. Now I'm going to go to Psalms chapter 73. And these devils, all they know is how to cause chaos, man. Okay? Death and destruction, division. But deceiving the people, talking about peace, security. For you Israelites that's out there thinking that Esau, Edom is upright and thinking that the Lord is dealing with him in righteousness, hey, you lost, man. Hey, this man is the perfect devil when it comes to Yahweh Shem Yahushua setting up a nation to represent wickedness. This is Psalms chapter 73, verse 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. Okay, and it's going into what? The nation of Israel, man. Okay? In this faith, man, because we're here in captivity, man. Okay, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua has punished us by setting the Edomites over us. Okay? But Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we are his chosen people, and the Lord is going to redeem the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, the 144,000 and the 1/3. Okay? All this is happening, that these conflicts that's going on, is the purpose of Yahweh Shem Yahushua returning to establish a righteous kingdom and us being joint heirs with him. Okay? And all these heathen nations being taken down and being put under the rule of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and us, the Israelites. And it says, but for as me, my feet were almost gone, my steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish, and when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, and you see that, man. Once again, the foolish is Esau, Edom, and they're prospering. Okay, they're the prosperity of the wicked. They have everything. They control everything. But us, the Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, the nobodies, the low lives, even these other nations, these heathen nations are over us and look down upon us. Okay, but Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to favor us, man. Okay? And our people, they is envious at the foolish, to the point that 2/3 of the wicked of Israel, the wicked Israelites, siding with Esau, Edom, in this whole system. Our people go after these covenants of Esau, Edom. They rely on his government. They fight in his military. All the trends and agendas that they push when it comes to being contrary to the ways of the Lord, contrary to the ways of the law, statute, commandments, our people are for it, the 2/3, man. Okay? And they're going to be destroyed, man. Because once again, at this time, only the elect is going to be delivered. 2/3 of our people, they're going to have the same fate as these heathens of Esau, Edom, and these heathens over here in America when all hell breaks loose. And the Lord bring judgment. Verse 4, for there are no bands in their depth, but their strength is firm. Yeah, going into the Edomites, man. And that's due to their pride, okay, that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave them the power, so they figured that it could never be taken out, man. And it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Yeah, mainly these elites of Esau, Edom. They're not in trouble as the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. Okay, all these, even to these other nations that's in poverty and being subjected under the Edomite rule. Okay? Therefore, pride could pass them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment, and that's their MO. All they know how to cause is blood, bloodshed and death, man. Okay, pain, agony, division. Ain't no peace when it comes to Esau, Edom. Okay, and it says, therefore pride could pass them about as a chain, and violence cover them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. Yeah. Yeah, man. Their eyes stand out with fatness, meaning that greed. Okay, here the Lord done gave them the whole world. They're going to conquer everything by their sword. Okay, by the power that the Lord gave them, the fatness of the earth. But they still not satisfied, man. To the point that they want to constantly control the people. Okay? So now we're at the point of them want to implement the MOTB and tag electronic tag everybody. Everybody, man. They'll show you the pride and the greed of Esau, Edom. They want everything unto themselves, man. They want all nations to bow to them. And nobody can have a say-so or nothing, man. Following their ways, man. Their wicked ways. And if you don't get down with it, if you don't bow down to it, you're going to be put as an outcast, or you're going to be put to death. That's the mind frame of these elites, on down to the lesser luminary ones doing the bidding of these elites, man. And that's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that the Lord put upon them, the spirit of death. And it says, they are corrupt. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. Yeah. They speak wickedly concerning oppression. Okay? They don't give a damn, man, about all these other nations. They damn sure don't give a damn about us, the Israelites. And we bring up their history of how they done caused harm and death and all the wickedness they done been doing. Okay, the receipts that we bring up, the track records. Okay, their history, what they say, forgive and forget, or that was in the past, or use critical race theory. Okay, so that's them. Hey, that's them. Speaking wickedly concerning oppression, and they speak lawfully, mean prideful. They prideful about the the heinous acts they done unto us, man. Okay? And what they're still doing. How they done went over there and took over all these other nations and the destruction they caused. But they don't think they would have to pay for that, man. To the point they think they're going to establish the NWO and continue to rule forever, man. That's their pride. But the Lord going to disappoint them. That's it on that. Let me get this. This is Habakkuk 2, chapter 4. Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And that's going to Esau, Edom. They don't have an upright spirit. Okay? And it says, but the just shall live by his faith. And that's going into the nation of Israel, starting with the elect. Because all we have is faith and the hope in Yahweh Shai to deliver us. And that's all we need. But majority of our people, they don't have the faith and the hope in the Lord, the God of the Bible, to deliver us out of the hands of our enemies. Okay? But the Lord gave that to the elect through the Spirit, to understand these scriptures, to understand the times that we're coming into, to understand the will of Yahweh Shai. Okay? So that's the just living by faith. Okay? But it says that what? But his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Once again, that's Esau, Edom. There's no righteousness in Esau, Edom. Okay, Bubble Eyes from GOCC. Okay, or any of you other Israelite camps out there talking about Esau, Edom can be saved and the Lord's going to forgive them. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16 tell you that Esau was rejected and found no repentance. Why? Because he's the wicked. The Lord created him to be the wicked. Okay? He's not going to be delivered. Only salvation is guaranteed to the nation of Israel, starting with the elect and those that descended out of that bloodline. Okay? And let me continue on. Verse 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. And yeah, his wine, his philosophies, his agendas, his policies that he's pushed. Okay, here, like I say, man, he'll talk peace to these other nations. The next you know, he bringing out that sword. Okay? Deceiving them. Okay? Making deals with these other countries and backstabbing them. Destroying their government and putting in their own policies. Okay? Inflating them with debt. And having all these nations to pay tribute to them. Okay, his lies, man. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Yeah, he neither keepeth at home. America is a perfect example of that. Okay? Yeah, you got America right now, the nerves, they're talking about Russia taking over Ukraine, but look at the past history, man. Okay, how you think America, you Edomites, how you think you got America? By rape, rob, and murder of the northern kingdom. Okay, in particular Gad, the so-called North American Indians, the Mexican Indians, which are Issachar, the Seminole Indians, which are Reuben, and on down to the rest of the northern kingdom, the Puerto Ricans, the Latinos and Hispanic tribes. How you think you got the Americas? Okay, the indigenous people. And you ain't stopped there. Okay? You took the southern kingdom, the Negroes, what you call the blacks today, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, West Indies. Okay? Took them and put them on cargo slave ships and brought them over here to the Americas from the west coast of Africa, from different parts of Europe. Okay? And on top of that, now you go into these other countries, such as Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Libya, bomb the hell out of them. But you talking about Russia is the problem. They did America, man, a hypocritical nation. Okay, in this sense, because they'll pick the narrative like that America's righteous and you know, and always the ones that be the heroes and you know the good old Americans. But their whole history show you that they ain't nothing but the fifth of the earth, man. That this place ain't nothing but a bunch of hypocrites, man. When it comes to them trying to police these other countries, stepping in, trying to take over these other countries, and paint the narrative of terrorism. And it says, he also is proud, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. Yeah, that's all you know. Okay, death, to bring hell. Okay, as I made mention, look at Iraq, look at Syria. Definitely look at Syria. Syria down there a wasteland. Okay, Afghanistan. It would have had recently last year, at the end of last year, you had America that was over there in Afghanistan for about 20 years. Soon they decided to leave. Them Arabs over there, man, that was like justice for them, man. They took back over their country. And not all them years that America caused chaos over there, they just got up and, you know, pulled their troops from out of there. And now the Afghans took it back over and took it back over in a state of rage. I wonder why. Now you got the Afghans over there that trust in America so much. When they left, they leave them hanging. And literally, someone was hanging off those planes that when they deported from out of Afghanistan, you had some of the Afghanistan citizens trying to board on the plane, the refugees, and some of them couldn't even make it on the plane. They hanging on the plane and falling off while they going in mid-air on takeoff. Because they trusting that the devil. All them years, America been over there trying to help support them against terrorism. But soon they left and those so-called terrorist group took over, man. America ain't never looked back. Let me continue on. But that's how Esau Edom is, man, especially America. And it says, who enlarge his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied. He can't be satisfied, man. Here he don't cause death and chaos and still ain't satisfied. Poverty. Unjust. Confusion. Etc., man. Everything negative that you can speak of, Esau Edom has done it. Okay, through these elites and through Babylon and Great America. And he still can't be satisfied. So once again, now he want to stamp everybody. And have everybody on a database in a digital system. And it says, he cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. And what's that sound like? Okay, the NWO. And that's what they want to do with this whole implementation of the forcing of the MOTB, the Karama. That's their agenda. That's their plan. That's in the works. As we're speaking, as prophecy is speaking. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. It said it calls all to receive that MOTB. That's their agenda. And this sounds insane, which it is. And that's the pride, man. They want to somehow implement and stamp everybody in the world, man. That's the pride of these Edomites, or these elites, on down to the lesser luminary ones. And I don't care if they can take this video off, man. Because the truth is out, man. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua about ready to get rid of you devils, man. And raise up a standard of righteousness. And that's going to be given unto Yahushua and the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. And us, members of the hopeful elect, that's what we're looking forward to, man. Okay? Upstanding righteousness. Because wickedness played out, man. With that second Esdras, chapter 6, around what, verse 29. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. That's it on Habakkuk chapter 2. Because all this devil know how to do is divide and conquer. But wait till the Lord pay them back. In Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. Let me get this. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. And it's starting with this truth. The Lord raising up the prophets. Okay, this word exposing Esau, Edom, the wicked. Okay, this is a transition of righteousness coming into play. This is the time when Yahushua about to establish a righteous kingdom and taking out the wicked. Okay, and ultimately that's going to happen when Yahushua return during the time of World War III. The Lord going to allow those missiles to be launched as well from Russia to destroy this place, America, right along with other allies and those got nuclear capability. They're going to destroy this place, America, Babylon the Great. And it says, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which have been so long without fruit shall be declared. You seeing that? This truth, starting with Yahweh Shem Yahushua raising up the nation of Israel, in particular the prophets. Okay, now this truth is flourishing, and that's what causing a transition of power. Prophecies coming to pass. This word being preached, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua acting on it. Because the Lord's words do not go out void. And Esau, Edom, and the wicked ones of our people and these heathen nations, they're going to find that out real soon. Well, everybody going to find out. Okay, but the world going to find out the hard way. Okay? That's it on that. Now I'm going to go to, matter of fact, touch back into how Esau like to ramshack everybody, countries, and put his dominion over them, okay, by the way of the sword, but then turn around and say that it's justice, it's righteousness. Okay, and the whole situation, like I say, with America banning Russia oil. And they done did that to other countries too, these sanctions and, etc. But they the problem. America, this place, America, is the problem, man. Let me go to let's see, Micah. Let me find it. Chapter 2, verse 1. And it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Okay, mainly these elites, man, and the lesser luminary ones. Okay, they think tanks, all they can think about how they can cause more chaos. What can we do to further our NWO and make everybody else to suffer and bow down to us? They different agendas. And it says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Yeah, once again, it is in the power of their hand, in their control. Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave them the control through the spiritual demon Satan. And it's for the Lord's purpose, for the Lord can justify or bring a judgment against them, man. Okay, the Lord raised you Edomites up in this time to rule so he can bring you down. Just like how he did ancient Pharaoh in Egypt. Puff Pharaoh up, and brought them down. And what happened? Yahweh Shem Yahushua got the glorification. And that's what he's doing the same thing to you Edomites. Puffing you up to bring you down for a hard fall, that his name and the son, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, can be declared, and the nation of Israel can be on top, to be superior once again. And it says, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance. And that's Esau, man. Okay, for you individuals talking about the Edomites are not the so-called white race today, and man, you just gone, man. And ultimately, Yahweh Shem Yahushua didn't open your eyes up to the understanding of the scriptures to know and to recognize who the biblical Edomites today. And we know by their characteristics that what the scriptures stated and what they're doing today, that no doubt the so-called white race are the biblical Edomites. Okay? What nation in this time has done this? Okay, covered fields, taken by violence. Okay? And it says what their houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance. That's the Edomites, man. They done it to us. Okay? And to the point that not only did they enslave us, they took our land, they took our nationality. And that's all they always do. Cultural vultures. Okay? They can be the Jews, they could be the Egyptians, they could be the Romans, they could be the Grecians. Okay? They're trying to take everybody's nationality, but when it comes to them being Edomites, they don't want to hold dear to that. They ain't want to reverence that. They ain't want to acknowledge that. Because why? Because Edom is known for being negative, man, in the scriptures, being the wicked. And they are the biblical Edomites. And their actions prove it. Their characteristics prove it. And they can't change that. Nor can you Israelites out there trying to save Esau, Edom, and trying to debunk Esau, Edom, not being the so-called white people. You can't change that. Because the truth is the truth. Let me continue on. And it says, and they take him away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his inheritance. And that's how Esau, Edom get down, especially America. And I made mention how they go and take over these other countries. Okay? And the whole thing about how now over there they trying to harass Russia. But Russia just trying to defend themselves against the EU and especially against America. And once again, they Edomites as well. But that's that division. Okay, to the point that Esau, Edom oppressing their own selves, man. These elites oppressing their own people. Okay, which I don't give a damn. Because they oppress the average American Edomite. They on the uproar and talking about unjust and ain't no equality here in America. We getting treated wrong from the American government. Okay, how you think the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans felt all these years and still to this day? And you devils, you Edomites, you ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till Yahweh Shem Yahushua put you here, the nation, into subjection, man. There ain't gonna be no fair shake. Let me go to the book of Obadiah. Now I get ready to close out. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1. And it says, the vision of Obadiah, this said the Lord God concerning Edom. We had heard a rumor from the Lord, and the ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, let us rise up against her in battle. And that's what you're seeing. The Lord setting the battle, okay, the stage of war. Okay, and it's going into the time of the Edomites' downfall. Okay, the coming of this third world war. And Yahushua returning to bring them out of power, man. The Lord raising up all these nations to come against mainly America. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And we come into that point. You seeing America being despised, man. Because once again, these nations once deal with America when it comes to their economy, when it comes to their dollar, okay, when it comes to trades. But now we're in the time of the Yahweh Shemal Shah turning these nations against America. And it said, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. Okay, these Edomites, okay, which known as their history as well, of being cave dwellers. That's where you get the word Caucasian from, okay? The Caucasus Mountains, okay? And even going back into the time of Mount Seir or Mount Petra. You can Google that. That's their original habitation, the caves, showing this the power of the Lord that raised you up, man. Okay? And it says, whose habitation is high, that say in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's their mind frame. They don't think they'll never be taken down. They got their weaponry, they got them all out of space, the technology that they have, the wealth they have, okay? But they don't give reverence that Yahweh Shem Shah, the one that gave them that power. They give the reverence to Satan or to themselves. And it says, who shall bring me down to the ground? Thou, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, the eagle. Okay, another indicator symbolic in the scriptures to know who the Edomites are today is by the sign of the eagle. And what is the Edomite sign when it comes to America? The eagle. And even when it comes to NATO, the Europeans, the eagle. Russia, the eagle. Okay? Showing you that the so-called white people today are the Edomites. And it's symbolic when it comes to the eagle. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, okay, and what's also known as the eagle is the bird, the eagle, its characteristics is what? A scavenger. It fly higher than amongst all other birds, all other fowls, okay? And it's a prideful bird. It's a predator as well, man, okay, as I make mention. So that's the MO of these Edomites, the so-called white people today. And it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, okay, the outer space technology, their weaponry, their satellites, okay? And the only reason why the Lord allowed them to put them up there when it comes to in particular now, the Space Force, when Yahweh shall come back, he's going to fight against them and take them out of power, destroy the Space Force. And it says, okay, and by the way, the EU got a Space Force, Russia got a Space Force, and other countries as well, but mainly Esau, Edom, showing that they're preparing to fight against the Lord. The Lord going to disappoint them. And it says, this will I bring thee down, say the Lord. If thieves come to thee, if robber by night, how art thou cut off? Okay, and that's Esau, Edom, a thief. Will they not have stolen till they have enough? If the great grape gatherers come to thee, will they not leave some grapes? No, man. Meaning that Esau, Edom want everything for themselves, man. They don't rob, rape, murder, everything. Okay? Through the sword, through their power, and that still ain't enough for them. To the point they want to establish this NWO. And it says, how art the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Yeah, they being exposed now. Okay? All the men of their confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah, these other nations. Okay? A lot of these nations turning against Esau, Edom, turning against America. Even these Edomites amongst themselves, as I make mention, EU, the friction between them and America. Russia, the friction between America and Russia and EU. Okay, Ukraine, all those are Edomites. Okay, and also these other nations. Okay, the Chinese, the Arabs, the Africans, okay, which are the Hamites, okay, and the East Indians, the Iranians, which all goes back to the Elamites. Okay, all these nations are coming against the Edomites, in particular, in this case, America. Okay, that's why you're seeing these nations leaving off from the dollar and going about establishing their own financial system amongst each other and leaving America out of it. And that's why America retaliating by putting these sanctions or waging war. And it says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have led a wound under thee. Yeah, the bread represent what? The money. Okay? Now these other countries, they done got wealthy off of the labor of America. Okay? And they hold on to the dollar so much that they start to be in debt. Okay, and America owes so much money to this country. Okay? And it says, they that eat thy bread have led a wound under thee. There is no understanding in him. So that's the point. And all these nations starting to rise up against America. And I'll finish off with Isaiah chapter 13 and touching into how, going back into, like let's say that article, they think they hurting Russia by cutting off banning their oil from over here in America, but America just only hurting themselves, okay? And their counterparts when it comes to their allies, when it comes to the trades, man, okay? But we know we're in the time of the Third World War brewing, the time of Jacob's trouble, trials and tribulations, all hell is about to break loose. But the Russians, the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to put the spirit on the Russians and not to give a damn about America's sanctions, okay, financial woes, okay? Now, off with this. Just the spirit that Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to put on the Russians. And it says, behold, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. So basically, the modern day Medes are the Russians, okay? And it says, and they which shall not regard silver, as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Meaning the money, okay? The modern day silver and gold is the ties of the money today, okay? The sanctions they putting on it, the banning of different, the oil and, the energy, okay, they doing against Russia. They ain't gonna give a damn about that, man. Okay, the Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting Vladimir Putin and the Russians in the mind frame of war to come against America and its allies. Okay, this is what time we coming into. Verse 18, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. That's going into those nuclear missiles. When Yahweh Shem Yahushua put the spirit on Russia to launch those missiles, they ain't gonna give a damn about human life over here. That's the cold spirit the Lord gonna put on them. They ain't gonna worry about the old, the young, men, women, and children. And that's gonna be the wrath for the Lord. Okay, the scripture says that the slaying of the Lord shall be many. Okay? And for the ones of our people, once again, 2/3 of our people gonna be destroyed, man. Especially those that take the MOTB. Because those that take that Karatma, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, tell them they're gonna be destroyed by the missiles in the presence of the Lamb when Yahushua returning as well. Yahushua is gonna deliver the elect, beam the elect up into those chariots, and simultaneously you're gonna have those missiles being launched to destroy the ones that's going to be left behind for you Christians, okay? Or the 2/3 and the heathen nation that ain't going to make it, okay, by the missiles, okay? And it says, their bows also shall dash the young man to pieces. They shall have no pity upon the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, okay, Babylon going into America, okay? This is the spiritual Babylon. And Babylon, the kingdom, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans, okay, who the mighty Chaldeans? These elites on down to the lesser luminary ones, okay, of this government. And the beauty of the Chaldeans, excellency, shall be as when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so you know about the ancient historical biblical time of the outcome of Sodom and Gomorrah that was destroyed by fire and brimstone. Okay, well, that was made an example for today, and that's going to happen to America. Because the abominable and 50 acts that they was doing back in Sodom and Gomorrah, America upholds that today. And many other lawless and abominable filth they uphold and push that's contrary to the ways of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? So this place is going to be burnt, but it's going to come into the form, okay? The fire and brimstone going to come into the form of those missiles from Russia. And it says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation. Show you that this is not talking about ancient Babylon, which is modern day Iraq. It's still inhabited, okay, by nations over there, okay? But this Babylon says never going to be inhabited. And that's soon to come with the destruction of America, okay? This Babylon, spiritual Babylon. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in for generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pinch their tent there no more. That meaning all you Arabs that like to come over here and do business, okay, and live high off the thrill or getting rich, mainly off of us, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, you Arabs, you Ishmaelites, and you other countries, other nations that come from these different countries that come over here and found prosperity, okay? It ain't gonna be no more America for you, okay? It's tell you how the nation's gonna mourn, how they're gonna weep after the destruction of America, because nobody buy their merchandise anymore, okay? And you hear the nation that's over here, at this time, if they don't flee back into their original homeland, they're gonna be destroyed by those missiles, okay? And it says, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. The wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Yeah, this place is gonna be turned to a desert, a wasteland. The only thing that's gonna dwell here is desert creatures. And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, through the scriptures, naming so. And it says, and the houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there. Starters shall dance there. Okay, the birds, different birds. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places and pleasant palace. And her time is near to come. Her days shall not be prolonged. Yeah, going into how the Lord going to have those desert creatures over here after the aftermath of the missiles and this fire and the smoke cleared down. Ain't nothing but desert creatures going to dwell here, okay? And it says that her time is near to come. Her days shall not be prolonged. And we're coming in that time, okay? The America days is not going to be prolonged, okay? They numbered, okay? They numbered for the destruction that's soon to come. So I'm going to go ahead and end the lesson here, the video here. I pray that this video and this lesson be edifying to the ones out there listening. Until next time, okay, keep fighting and keep pushing, man. We almost out of here, man. 2022, the year to turn up. Okay, you got the Pesach coming up next week. Okay, the Passover. Okay, more and more getting to the point, those us that's in this faith, sincerely, how more and more we got to, trim the fat, become more of a better servant of Yahweh Shema Shai, a better individual, conducting ourselves, better in this walk. Okay, better ourselves, individually. Okay, and Yahweh Shema Shai definitely doing his works, man. Okay, bringing forth his work. Okay, and for us, man, we have to just keep fighting and keep pushing, keep believing, and having faith and trusting in Yahweh Shema Shai, and the Lord is going to defend us, man, and to deliver us. Okay, but for majority of our people, man, they're going to be destroyed, right along with Esau, Edom, man, and that's already written. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and end the lesson. Now, once again, before I close out, I'm going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well today. And salutation also to the fellow laborers that's in the ministry and the believers that's scattered worldwide and that's in the faith and exalt the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Until the next time, Lord willing, Shalom. And DTA, soon.